Figure this out. Okay, we are recording. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm super excited to have you on the call today. First, thanks for taking the time to do that. And I'm super excited to introduce my friend, Criss, and I want to give a little bit of background. It's Criss Reep. She's a national marketing director from Springfield, Ohio. And I was looking up some information on Facebook, Criss, when I noticed that she got married the weekend before my husband and I did, back in July of 1982. She got married the 10th, which is the same weekend as my husband's dental lab mate and y'all, and then we got married on the 17th. So we share the same wedding month. I met Criss when she called me back in 2012 when we made national marketing director, and she asked me to be on her team call. And ever since then, the relationship has just grown, and we have been buddies on the Brave Leaders program. We have been buddies on the Team Z boot camp. We're accountability partners, but more than anything, we are best buddies and friends and pray for each other, and just really excited to get to share our world. And I've seen grandbabies be born, one this month, just a few days. Well, how old is she? What's today, the 11th? She's like 10 days old or so, right?
Yeah, almost a month now. She's born
Almost
the 16th of September,
okay.
But yeah, it seems like yesterday.
Okay, so new grandbaby, been with her or been involved with her since kids have gone in and out of the military and just different big life events. And she was there when we went through our move and just, fun stuff. So anyway, I have asked Criss to share with us her story, what's her story, and then whatever tips she thinks can help people to be successful, tips that she's tried and true that she's used. And it's like, okay, these are the things, to do or to think about or whatever. So I'm going to let you take it away, Criss, and thank you for being on.
Well, it is my pleasure. And Lori, I'm going to ask you to keep an eye on the clock for me, because maybe give me a 10 till, 5 till, whatever. So I am just tickled to be here with you all today. It's my pleasure to be able to share with you. And Lori is just a dear friend. I think the very first time I saw her, I don't know if we really connected or not, but it was at a 39 Club retreat, and I saw her and Bill, and we talked a little bit then, but we didn't know each other at all. And then you're right, it was that call, that team call where you joined in, and I so appreciated that. That was a great high spot for me in that time. So I just appreciate that. And we have had a lot of fun working through some of these challenges with Brave Leaders and Team Z and so forth. And I've learned so much from Lori. She's a catalyst for action. So I really appreciate her, and you guys have a great leader. So my goodness, it's crazy. It's been 25 years since I heard about Juice Plus. And a little bit of background, Jeff and I, he was a Division I men's basketball coach for 22 years. And that's what he was doing when we married. And we lived in New Mexico. We were at New Mexico State University. He was associate head coach there. And I had 4 of my 5 boys were born in Las Cruces, New Mexico. And it was there that I got to meet Joe and Rusty Armstrong, and they have an amazing ranch out there in New Mexico. It's just gorgeous. And but anyway, it's just a privilege to know Rusty, to work with her. We kind of did some things with homeschooling, and I was always fascinated because I love horses. So anyway, she came to my door one day. We had some other business to take care of, and she said, if you have just a minute, I want to show you something. She went out to her car, came back to the door, and she said, here, fruits and vegetables in a capsule. And that's all she said. I mean, there was nothing else to say back then, but it was just, here, fruits and vegetables in a capsule. And I was like, okay. And so I read the label. To be polite, I didn't know what to do. I read the label. I was shocked. I could pronounce the words. I could picture what was in the bottle. And I just intuitively knew the bottles. It was a fruit and vegetable then. And I just knew that I needed that. Had 4 little boys standing behind me. The youngest was almost 2, and I was pretty wiped out, but I wasn't sick or anything, but just wiped out. So anyway, I told her I would try them, and a couple weeks later, I called her back and I said, I don't know what's happening. I can't explain it, but I can tell that something's happening at the cellular level, and I want to stay on this for a very long time. But I said, I really want to get it for the best price. I knew that meant being a distributor of some sort, and so she got me set up with that. And literally the day I signed up, I walked out my front door and I was like, wow, this neighbor, that neighbor, that neighbor. I kind of knew what was going on in their lives and some of the issues they were having health-wise. And I was thinking of people at church and, of course, my own family, my extended family. And it was like, and then, oh my goodness, the coaches. I know how they eat. It was terrible. I was like, oh, everybody needs this. And so I started talking about it. It just made sense. And we didn't have anything back then. I was in that orange box league where that's what they came in, and you paid cash for them, and then you sold them from there. And so anyway, it was just really, really neat to be able to help people in that way. I mean, think about it at the cellular level. I mean, you find out a lot about people, but it was just so gratifying to know that I could do that. And then had no intention of a business. I was not thinking about business at all, not at all. But I'm thankful that when we moved from New Mexico to Ohio, Jeff took a coaching job back here where we graduated from Cedarville University, and moved across country. And several months, there was a lot going on, needless to say, and I didn't really talk about Juice Plus at all, just trying to get reestablished. And I kept my commission level, I kept all my volume, and nothing went away. And that just meant so much to me. So around that time, maybe within the next year or so, we got the tape from Mitra Ray and Dr. Du Bois, and so that kind of leveled the playing field. And then I could talk to everybody in the stands, in the basketball stands, wherever I was. When I was out, that's when I got to do business. And that's what Jackie Beavers always said. You don't go out to do your business. You do your business as you go out. And that's what I did. And so I shared with lots of people, and one by one, because I believed in what I had done and that it was the best thing for me and my family. That's kind of what I sold. So I sold the whole package. I sold Juice Plus, and I said, hey, get it for the best price like I did. And so actually got several people up to sales coordinator in that whole process, including myself. I think somehow I made senior sales, but that was when it first was introduced. And you know, it's interesting, Lori, I don't know if you found this, but it's been, you know, growing up with Juice Plus, they were like, oh yeah, we should do research. Mitra Ray approached Jay Martin and said, you really need to research this. Oh, okay, so we'll research it. So that's 40 published articles later. We have lots of research on Juice Plus. And it was like, oh, well, we need this, like, we need this promotion to kind of be a stepping stone to qualifying national marketing director. So they created the senior sales coordinator. Well, that was me. I got a letter one day and it said, congratulations. And I sat on it all day long. I was like, no, they made a mistake. I'm sure they made a mistake. So finally I called my corporate partner, my dear friend Jerry Waits, and I said, I got this letter. I think it's wrong. I think they made a mistake. And so he said, well, hang on a minute. Let me check on that. So he was gone for, I thought, forever. And he came back and he said, nope, that's right. Congratulations. And it's like, okay. So anyway, it was just really fun. But what really threw me for a loop, remember, I'm not thinking business at all. Even then, I'm not even thinking business. But one day I got the mail. Again, I had this thing from Juice Plus, and it was a check, and it had a comma in it. And I'm going, what? I think they must have messed up. I really did think it. But anyway, I showed it to Jeff, and I said, look at this. This is for 1 month. I'm homeschooling. I don't know if Kevin was born by then or not. I think so. So anyway, I had 5 little boys. We're homeschooling. We're going to every basketball game, home and away. In college, it's 2 or 3, 4 hours, you know, road trip for a game. And so, I mean, we were busy, and there was a lot going on. And so to get that paycheck while I was doing life, as a wife and a coach's wife and a homeschooling mom and a mom, and all of that was just incredible to me. And so when Jeff saw it, he was like, well, I thought you were doing this for fun. I said, I am doing this for fun. It is fun. And he said, well, what if you did it seriously? And I was like, oh my goodness, I don't even know. How do you do that? So anyway, it's just been the neatest time to be able to grow up with Juice Plus, to be part of the company with a heart, the company that is all for us. I mean, there are times when they backed me up that I was like shocked because I knew I was costing them money. So it's just been an amazing journey. And I'm not sure what your first conference was, Lori. That's something we've never talked about. But my first conference was in San Antonio because I could go. We had a frequent flyer that was going to expire. I could stay with my aunt and uncle. So there's basically no cost except for my conference ticket. And I really wanted to see who these people are. What's this company about? Is it a bunch of fluff and rah-rah? Because I'm not really interested in that. Or what is it? So anyway, I went and was met up with Harriet Salser and Rusty Armstrong. And I was like blown away because the people that I met are still my friends. There are people in the trenches like I was, moms. I met a mom with 8 children. And it wasn't you, Lori, it was someone else. And it was just really, they're just so down to earth and so practical. And I didn't even hear that much about the business. Of course, Juice Plus was still relatively new, so everybody was buzzing about that. And there were a couple doctors and on stage and explaining about that. So I was impressed with that because I wasn't a business person. I wasn't there because of the business. I was there because I cared about people and I wanted to invest in their lives and make a difference. And I wanted them to feel as good as I felt. And so anyway, that was really a special time. So thankfully, the Lord has just blessed, and I really have looked at my business as, and I don't know where you guys are at, but I really believe that God is intricately involved in my life, and I have always felt that my business was a tangible expression, a visible expression of an invisible God. And there were just so many times when I was like ready to, I just can't do this. I cannot. And then it was like God would do something. It was like, okay, I get it. And so it was just special. And the personal growth that I've experienced, I feel like this has been a tool in God's hands to not only bless my family with really good, solid health, but also to help a lot of other people. And so it's just been really special to be part of all that. And I'm just grateful. I'm just really grateful to have that opportunity to be a part of all that. And I think in the process, as I would get on the Beavers calls, because nobody knew what they were doing. It was fun back in the day. We would get on and figure out what to do. And Jackie Beavers would say things, we got to get out of the colon and into the cash. Did you ever hear her say that, Lori? She would talk about that and just how, the business part is still legit. I mean, it's very, very legit. We need to think about that. And what are we doing with that opportunity? Because for me, I really believe that it's important. It's so important for moms to be able to stay home and pour into their children and teach and train them God's ways and all of that. And so I want other moms, other families to have that same opportunity. And you know what? A lot of them don't have that option. Thankfully I did. And we've always lived on Jeff's income, but it's been nice to have the extra income to do extra things now that the family's large, to rent a house at Christmas time or halfway through the year to all be together under one roof and that sort of thing. And so Juice Plus has just been a huge benefit for us. But Lori asked me to share a couple of things that have, just been helpful hints for me personally. And early on, this would be early on when all my boys were like 12 and under. Chris Cotton said on a conference call once, he said, do at least one thing for your Juice Plus business every day. And I was like, and he named off things like listen to a tape, you know, hand out a tape, talk to someone, talk to your sponsor, simple things, you know, just one thing. I thought, well, I can do that. You know, I can do one thing for my Juice Plus business every day. And that kind of kept me in the game, even when I didn't feel like I could be in it wholehearted because I was wearing so many hats. So I guess my question for you is, are you in the business? Like, what do you want? One tool that Lori and I have found has just been huge, and I just want to put in a plug for Teamsy. I resisted it for a long time, but oh my goodness, it has been a catalyst for so many conversations, and it's been such a relief to me to know that, okay, I have done my business today because I've connected with everyone that I was supposed to connect with that was on my list. It's been motivating because I'm in competition with myself to see if I can do that 100% every day. And it's all organized, so I don't have to spend time organizing or anything like that. It's all done. All I need to do is concentrate on talking to people. And it even helps me do that because it, you know, as people pop up and it's like, oh yeah, I need to talk with them. And in the follow-ups, you know, reminding me, oh, that was the conversation I needed to finish up and come, you know, bring that to a conclusion. So, or, you know, or keep it going. And I know that Kurt Beaver's always said, have lots of happy conversations. And it's just helped me to be able to connect with people and learn to listen to them so that I can maybe suggest my solution to them or see if they're open to that. So Teamsy has just been a great framework from which to springboard from in terms of my conversations and connecting with people. And one more thing I wanted to mention is just mindset. And I constantly am working on my mindset. And I just want to ask you, like, what is your mindset? And I ask myself this all the time, you know, do I have a clear vision? What is my motivation? What is my why? Do I need to revisit that? Is it clear? Is it still relevant to me where I am right now? And then how do you see your Juice Plus business? You know, is it a hobby? Is it just something to do in case you have time that day, or if someone walks across your path and asks you what you're doing and all about it, which doesn't happen to anybody very often, doesn't happen to me. And, you know, do you view it as a way to help people? I'm just so grateful. I've realized that a lot of times my attitude is more centered on me instead of outward toward others, and helping others be successful, and thinking of it as a way to build into others. And so just trying to become, you know, again, that personal growth, making sure that I'm being poured into, that I'm listening to my mentors and connecting with them, and then being able to give out and make a difference for other people. So these are some questions that Harriet Seltzer, and she may have even said something about this from the main stage several years ago, but oh my goodness, this was, again, at the very beginning of my business. And I still go back to these questions because they're thought-provoking, and yet they're very motivating. And so these are the questions, and it's all under the umbrella of next step planning. So the first question is, where am I now? You know, what position am I at? Where am I at in life? But what, and I think she mostly meant like, are you at 6%, 14%, 22%? Are you sales coordinator going for senior sales? Where are you now? What's the next step? So what do I need to do next to get to where I want to go? And what do I need to do? So knowing what the next step is, like let's say it is sales coordinator, knowing exactly what structure you need and what volume you need. to make sales coordinator? And then what do you need to do to reach that next step? And that would kind of be your game plan for the month. What are the benefits of being there? You know, when you get to sales coordinator, what's the benefit of that? Certainly you're at the highest commission level. You've got some team going under you because that requires some structure. So, of course, your paycheck should be higher. So what are the benefits of reaching that next step? And what is a reasonable time frame to get there? You know, you can say, oh, well, I want to be senior sales coordinator by the next conference, and you're not even a sales coordinator yet. Or, you know, so you just want to be reasonable. What is reasonable? And that's where your sponsor, your national marketing director, Lori, can really help you set that pace and what's reasonable. And then asking yourself, do I have that burning desire? Do I just have that desire where I'm going to do it? I don't care if anyone else does it with me. I don't care where my anybody is. I'm going to do this regardless. No matter what, I'm determined to reach this goal. And so, what, Lori?
5 minutes.
Okay, so I'm just going to wrap that up right now, because I will tell you that when I moved from senior sales to QNMD, which it took me 10 years altogether from start to the day I made national marketing director, it took me 10 years. I felt like that was a really long time. It really bothered me that it took me that long, but you know what? It's okay. It's a path God had me on. That's the time frame I needed. And so I'm grateful. I'm grateful for all of that time. And so when it came time, though, to make that 12 club, that was the first. I just wanted 12 clubs so bad because I wanted to go to the Eltons so bad. I just worked and worked, and it took me a lot of years before I finally made it to the Eltons. But it took that burning desire, and I was going to make it no matter what anybody said. Well, that gave me the volume that I needed, and QNMD came pretty close after that, and then national marketing director followed. But it came down to a not if this is going to happen, but it's how it's going to happen and when it's going to happen. And so I just want to encourage you all to answer these questions and then get really serious. Get with Lori and brainstorm and make your plans, and then work with it. Just work them, no matter what. And sign up for Teamsy because it'll help you. I promise. It'll help you. Thank you, Lori. It's been so fun. I hope you all got something from this.
Criss, you are so amazing. I just love you. You have delivered, and I hope that everybody, I took all kinds of notes, and I'm going to have to go through them again and make them straighter so I can remember. But I love that. Have lots of happy conversations, and more of others than yourself. And so many times, I mean, these tips are for life. You know, they're not just juice plus things, but it's great when the things that are positive and the things that are good actually build you. And your comment, Criss, because it took us 8 years to get to national marketing director, start to finish. And Criss Winstrom, the thing you posted today was perfect. You know, you get the pair of tennis shoes, not that you need today, but that you're going to grow into, because you have to do some stuff to be able to get there. And Criss Reep, you're on our team page, so I would encourage, and Patricia, watch that little video that I posted. I stole it from Criss today about success. Anyway, it's just great. I don't want to, it's pretty short, and you'll really enjoy it. But I love the clarity that you spoke with, and the practicality of this, and this. Ask yourself these questions, make some decisions, and I honestly, when we just first got started, and those questions were asked of me, some of them, I had no reference to know, well, how long is it supposed to take me to get to something? I don't know enough about it. So it's nice to have someone who's kind of gone through it and understanding kind of the numbers, so you keeps you from getting frustrated, but gives you kind of an idea. And then I love that we're in competition with ourselves. We're not pushed onto other people. And when I would complain, I guess, to my husband about how long it took us, he was, like you said, well, those people aren't home raising 5 boys or 9
That's
kids,
right.
homeschooling, or, everybody has their own journey, and it just depends on, what your path is, what God has for your path. So I really appreciate that. And then, does anybody have a quick question? Would it be okay, Criss, if I asked if they have a question for you?
Yeah, quick question.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap this up in just under a minute. But if you have a quick question of her, I'd like to let you ask that.
I have a quick comment.
Okay.
I found it just so encouraging. You saying it took you 10 years and Lori 8. It's taken me 6 years. I've been a seniors at sales coordinator, but I feel that's what God's saying to me too. Like he's had me on this journey. I've done all these other things. So I'm really right where I'm supposed to be at this time. I can't compare myself to anybody else. So that was really encouraging to hear you feel that way too.
Yes, comparing yourself will just take you right down into a black hole. So don't do that. It's a terrible place to be. Good. That's awesome. That's really awesome.
I would just, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I would just like to thank you for being so practical. I really thoroughly enjoyed hearing you. And one thing was a takeaway for me. You said, do one thing a day for your business, because that helped your mindset think about what you're doing. And I really appreciated that, because it gave me a mindset paradigm shifting of the mind.
Yes, that's great.
Motivated. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yes, it did that for me too. So that's great.
Well, the things that are important to you, they start making their way to the front of whatever your thought process is. I'm looking really forward to seeing all of y'all at conference in Austin, and we're going to hear a bunch of new stuff, and these Friday afternoons will be kind of helping us to process some of that stuff. And so I invite you to come back every time, and we'll stay relevant and centered on how we can be the best person we can be, and offering good stuff and value to the world. So I'm going to say thank you again and goodbye. Y'all have a wonderful day. And Criss, thank you so much for taking time out to join us.
You're welcome. My pleasure. And thank you so much. Can't wait to see you all.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.